Did you know Johnny Depp actually bought an entire village in the south of France? Not just a house. Not just a cute little farmhouse or a luxury villa. No, he went all in and bought himself an entire 19th-century hamlet, tucked away in one of the most picturesque corners of the French countryside. And the most surprising part? He didn't even live there full-time. Now, let me ask you something. If you could just pack up and escape to your own private French village whenever life got a little too messy, wouldn't you do it? Can you imagine it? Waking up to birds singing, sipping a glass of wine under centuries-old olive trees, walking barefoot through cobblestone streets while the rest of the world fades away? I mean, who wouldn't want that kind of peace? Hi there, and welcome. Today I'm taking you on a little journey, a journey into one of Hollywood's most fascinating love stories. But this isn't a love story about two people. No, this is about a man and his retreat. A quiet little corner of the world that became Johnny Depp's sanctuary. His escape. His own little world. And I promise, by the time you hear everything, you'll never think of living in the countryside the same way again. So, let's start at the beginning. Back in the early 2000s, Johnny Depp was already one of the biggest names on the planet. He was at the height of his fame. Pirates of the Caribbean was a global phenomenon. His face was on billboards everywhere, cameras followed him everywhere he went, and every move he made became front-page news. But the truth is, Johnny's never really been a Hollywood kind of guy. Sure, he worked there. But in his heart? He's always been a little different. A little quieter. A little more, on the outside. He's the kind of person who prefers sitting in a quiet room painting or playing his guitar, rather than walking down a red carpet. He's said it himself many times, fame has always felt strange to him. So one day, when he stumbled across this sleepy little village near Saint-Tropez, something just clicked. Imagine it. Crumbling stone cottages. Tiny cobblestone streets. Wild lavender growing in the fields. Olive trees swaying in the breeze. Time just seemed to slow down there. And here's the thing, Johnny didn't just buy a house there. He bought everything. Every cottage. Every alley. Even the tiny church in the middle of the square. The whole thing. He spent millions restoring it, making sure it felt authentic, like a step back in time. How many people can say they own an entire village? It sounds like a dream, doesn't it? For Johnny, it became more than just real estate. It was his sanctuary. His hideaway. A place where he could just breathe. Friends who visited said it was like stepping into another world. No paparazzi. No screaming crowds. No pressure. Just long dinners under the stars. Laughter echoing through those old stone walls. Music playing late into the night. Johnny would paint there in the mornings, strumming his guitar whenever he felt like it. He'd invite friends over for wine and quiet conversations. It was his little bubble away from all the chaos of Hollywood. But of course, nothing stays perfect forever. When his relationship with Vanessa Paradis ended, the retreat started to feel different. Some people close to him say it reminded him too much of what he'd lost. Others say it simply became too much to maintain. Eventually, he made the heartbreaking decision to let it go. That's right, the dream village went up for sale. And not just for any price. He listed it for a cool $55 million. Yep. 55. Can you imagine being the person who bought it? If money wasn't an issue, would you have gone for it? I can't help but think about it myself, living in a place like that, so full of history and soul, it's hard not to dream. But here's the part that really gets me. Most people think Johnny bought the village just to get away from Hollywood. To hide. But that's not the whole story. He actually used it as his creative space. Inside the main house, he had entire rooms dedicated to painting and writing. One of his friends once said it was his way of keeping sane. When the rest of his life felt out of control, he'd go there to create. And remember that little church in the middle of the village? He kept it just as it was, only he turned it into a guest house. Yep. If you were lucky enough to visit, you could literally spend the night in a centuries-old French church. And here's another little gem for you. Johnny even had local artisans teach him how to make traditional French bread in the stone ovens on the property. It wasn't just real estate for him. It was a way of life. He didn't just buy the village. He lived it. He became part of it. And maybe that's the real takeaway here. You don't need millions of dollars or your own private village to find peace. You just need a quiet corner of the world to call your own. A place where you can create, reflect, and recharge. So let me ask you, if you could retreat anywhere in the world, where would it be? Would you pick a little French village like Johnny? Or maybe a beach somewhere warm? Or a cabin in the mountains? I'd love to hear your answer. Drop it down in the comments. I promise I'll read every one. And if you liked hearing about Johnny's story, you might also enjoy hearing about some of the other incredible, hidden homes of Hollywood stars. You can check out that video right here. Oh, and one last thing, if you like this video, give it a little thumbs up. It really helps. And if you want to hear more fascinating stories like this one, make sure you subscribe and hit that little bell icon so you never miss a story. Because trust me, there's always more to the story. Thanks so much for spending a little time with me today. And don't forget to tell me about your dream retreat. Maybe one day, we'll all have our own little French village. See you next time.